Hey guys, Prince of Macedon here. Gonna show you a replay now, and later on in this video I'm gonna show you the live footage so that you can see the more tactical side of this battle. But for the replay part, I want to focus on the close-ups, and that might mean you might not be able to follow the battle. So if you want to follow the battle, skip to the live footage part where I showed a lot of overheads. So my opponent's name is Sigieron, TWS. He'll be commanding the Empire, and I had a request to use Bretonnia, so this will be my first time using Bretonnia in a multiplayer battle for Warhammer. So let's start up the replay. Now we both have full slots of units here, full stack. He has 2 mortars and 2 Hellblaster machine gun type deals, plus 4 crossbows. And I've got 4 quote-unquote monsters on my side, and they're considered to be monsters. They're called Pegasus, kind of like the Greek mythical beast, which flies. It's pretty awesome. So you can see, I divided my army into 2 different wings. See that? And my opponent has this really defensive posture right there, as you can see. So because he's right there, I'm going to keep this wing back, and I'm going to strike out with this other wing, and try to get behind him in this area where the trees are, overlooking his position. So, look at my commander here. One of my viewers taught me how to put your commander on a mount, and I'll show you how I did that in the live footage. But isn't that cool? I put my basic lord on this. I think it's a hippogriff or something. Anyhow, let's go look at my opponent's troops here. Look at this. Halberd infantry. The crossbows, as you saw. And I just realized these are both Hellblasters. He has 2 of them. I thought there were 3 mortars and 1 Hellblaster, but in reality there's 2 Hellblasters and 2 mortars, which are now firing at me. So they're going to fire over here, and I think the first few volleys actually miss. It was close though. Very close. Now, Bretonnia infantry is pretty bare bones. They have either halberd or spear, and that's all they have. They don't have any sword or axe infantry. It's between those 2 units. I got both of them. Gave them lots of upgrades. So, this is my shot cav here. These are the Knights of the Realm. So let's take a look at them. Pretty neat, huh? And I got these Pegasus up here. That's so awesome looking. So you can see he's gunning my units. I've come down for an attack on his commander. He has both of his commanders right here. Both of them. They're both right here. So I'm launching all my Pegasus at it. My Pegasus, and I even have my commander come in. And see this? Here's my commander. We're gonna watch him come in. And in the background, you can see my infantry on that side getting shot by crossbows and the Hellblaster guns of the Empire. So we're gonna watch my lord come in, like the beast that he is, and to scare the crap out of his commanders. Look at that! Oh man, it's beautiful. And you can see my Pegasus are flying in behind my commander. It's like Alexander leading the charge against the enemy. Beautiful. Did you see how he was standing on top of his mount there? That was awesome. Anyways, at this point, I did rout one of his units, one of his heroes, but he's able to get this one away. See that? I'm still chasing him with my Pegasus. I probably should have pulled back because his crossbows can actually shoot up at my guys. Anyway, this is what's shooting at my other infantry, these Hellblaster guns. And again, if you can't follow the action here, just skip to the live footage where you can see everything I'm seeing during the battle, and it's a lot easier to follow than my replay here, because the replay is going to focus on close-ups. So the problem here was taking on this defensive posture of my opponent. He took advantage of the fact that he had this natural terrain going for him, and I had to attack him. So I used my left flank, which was over on this side, to attack first, and I kept my other flank held back in reserve. So look at my guy just swarming his halberd infantry. I didn't want to attack his halberds directly with my Pegasus. I'd have feared that those weapons could hurt my Pegasus. So I had my infantry. Oh shoot, sorry. I did have some of my Pegasus going in, but I won't do that again. I'm gonna have my infantry holding his guys in place before I do that again. I think what happened was I had my Pegasus coming in to attack his commander, and I had a hard time pulling them out. So I just went ahead and attacked before they died. That's what happened. Sorry. See, even I can't follow my own replay. Pretty sweet, huh? But you can see the effects of his missiles on my infantry over here. This unit's down to 49. I think that was down from 90. So they got really heavily damaged. But now that I'm attacking on this side, his crossbows are now transfixed the other way. And he pulled back a lot of his infantry to face this way, but this is where my attack is now coming from. You can see his commander right here just kind of chilling up in the air. He's going to cast some abilities on his units. Such a beautiful thing to watch, these replays. So here comes my my captain here. He's going to come in. He wants some of this action. He's right there. I didn't get him a mount. I'm not sure if you can get him a mount. You probably can. But all I could afford was one for my my main lord. Look at that guy. He's a beast. So I got my other cab coming in this way. But his commander is chilling right here, and he knows his health is down at least 60%. Oh, look at that. Look how low his health is. So now I got my Pegasus coming in to attack him, to attack his hero again. That's the only one that he has left. The other one died in combat with my commander. Look at that freaking dogfight over the skies of this battlefield. Gotta say, I don't really like this battlefield. It's not very fair. If you're coming from my side, it's not fair because the other side has this defensive terrain here. They have all this hill advantage here. But whatever. It is what it is. It's still a pretty cool looking map, but it's not balanced at all. Here's my commander. He delved right into the halberds here, and my health is still rocking out. Look at that. It's like 100%. He hasn't taken much damage. And you can see his Empire captain is not going to make it out of here. I mean, he is, but he's not going to stay on the battlefield. Look at my guys trying to rout him. So at this point, I did launch my infantry into his front lines here to cut the distance, so I didn't get shot at anymore by these Hellblaster volley guns. So when you close the distance, that immediately nullifies his artillery. So you can see all my guys swarming his positions. No one's manning these guns anymore. So my attack completely succeeded. I was very happy because he presented a very difficult, puzzle for me. And the problem for me was how to attack this. And I think I chose the best way to attack it. I think. I mean, I bet there's other ways to attack, but that's what I came up with on the spot. So for me, that was my best situation. That was my best option that I took, I think. Maybe if I studied the battle more, I could come up with a better attack plan. But I like the idea of having just two wings and not having a central formation. Just divide two mini armies onto both wings. So kind of like a boxer, I can punch with the left or the right and defend with the other. That was my my philosophy in choosing that formation at the beginning. And of course, the formation was also dependent on my opponent, also the battlefield, and what I thought he might do. But good game to him. And now I'm going to show you the live footage now, so that you can follow the battle a lot better and see how it actually went down. But I did show a lot of close-ups here, so it might have been easy to lose track of what was happening. So stay tuned and keep watching this video so you can watch the live footage. Alright guys, it's time to show you the live footage aspect of this battle, and here you'll be able to see the battlefield from a much more overhead view, so it'll be easier to follow the battle. Anyhow, my opponent's name is Sigieron, TWS, and he's going to use the Empire, and I'm going to use Bretonnia. There was a request for me to use Bretonnia. Of course, I'm going to go through all the factions for the first few weeks, before I pick a favorite, and then I'll still cycle through each faction regardless. But yeah, I'm using Bretonnia, and I added a basic lord, and I also added the hero next to the damsel over there, and then I brought a mix of the infantry. I brought the spears and the halberd, and I was kind of worried about that because these guys don't have any sword infantry. I kind of wanted something like a sword or an axe or something. So I was pretty much stuck with the halberd and the spear tip. And then I got 4 units of those cav, and 4 units of the flying Pegasus unit. And it's pretty cool, they actually consider the Pegasus unit to be a monster on the roster there. So here, one of my viewers actually told me how to mount your commander onto an animal. So I was able to do that thanks to my viewer. And that's a very cool tip. You can actually put your commander on, like, on a hippogriff or on a wyvern or whatever's available to your faction. It's pretty cool. So now my lord will be able to fly. I can send him around the battlefield much more easily, whatever. So I put tons of experience on my infantry and also on my cav, just because these units are so cheap quality, or not cheap quality, but they're so cheap, like literally they're cheap. So with all that excess money, I needed to buy something, so I just bought crap loads of upgrades. And I even put my commander on a flying animal. So yeah, Bretonnia, this will be my first experience using Bretonnia in this game, on multiplayer at least. I don't know if I use them in a quest battle. I tend to forget those pretty quickly. They are fun though. Don't get me wrong, they are very fun. So yeah, rocking out 2 special units. Like anytime I have like an individual unit, you know, like my lord or whatever, I just call them heroes regardless. Because in my book, they are heroes. Yeah. So I was very anxious about using the Pegasus. I didn't know that they were flying. I guess I should have guessed that based on their name. But you will soon see the Pegasus in action. And what I like about showing you these the live footage is that you can see the battle from the player's perspective, not from the replay perspective. Because when I'm showing replays, I like to zoom in a lot, and it might be hard for you guys to follow the battle. And with the replays, I like to focus on showing close-ups. So that's why I like mixing, you know, the close-ups, you know, the replays and the live commentaries when I can. Anyhow, this map is kind of difficult if you're on my side, because we're at a slight decline, and also the opposing side gets to, you know, establish themselves on that little hill right there. It's a nice defensive position. It's natural. So I was worried that my opponent would do that. Sorry, I can't talk. I thought that was a cool looking beach right there. And I'm pretty sure I fought on this map in one of my quest battles on Legendary. And in the quest battle, you come from the other side, not from this side. I think this is where the Northmen land. Alright, so you can see my troops here. Now, having used the Empire, what, 1 or 2 times already, I was aware of how dangerous their gunpowder units were. So my plan in deploying my troops was not to put any troops in the center. You know, not in the center of my deployment zone. My plan was to put them on both wings of my deployment zone. Because if he had put a whole line of, you know, like handgunners on the front lines right in front of me, then I would have got torn up by that. So I'm just going to deploy on the wings. It was a risky deployment, I gotta say, but it's very mobile. Or at least I was gonna try to be mobile. I'm still slowed down by the presence of all my foot units. But I do have a lot of, well, I have a decent amount of cav, plus the flying unicorn, the Pegasus. So yeah, I was worried that he would deploy right in front of me. I mean, honestly, I was worried where he would deploy, period, because if he deployed in the center, I was worried about all the gunpowder units gunning me down. But if he deployed on one of those defensive hill postures right there, then I would have to attack a fortified position with a naturally good defensive terrain. So either way, I didn't like this this battlefield. I don't think it's very fair for the side I'm on. But I was prepared to do anything. If he's in front of me, I would advance with the other wing. If he's on the other side, I would advance with this wing. So it's a very fluid formation, I think. And right there is my main commander right there. As you can see, I do have him mounted on that flying unit. I believe it was a hippogriff. I don't recall, sorry. It was some kind of hippo something. Definitely not a hippopotamus though, because I know what a hippopotamus looks like. Yeah. Or do I? And anyways, I left my my Pegasus in the back. I saw that they were flying, so I figured they could move even faster. So like when the battle starts, I see my opponent, he is confirming my worst fear is that he would position himself on that defensive posture. So already I'm going to advance with my other wing as I planned. So look at that, he has mortars, he has those Empire machine guns. But I was happy he does not have any handgunners. I think handgunners would have made this a bit harder. But it's a very compact defensive posture he's presented me with. And it's going to be quite a dilemma, quite a problem to solve. But that's the beauty of strategy games. It's a question of whether or not you can handle the tactical puzzle laid out in front of you. So I'm going to advance with this wing. And in doing so, that's going to force him to reposition his defensive posture there. See that? How he's moving his troops around now? Because he sees me trying to come around. So I'm going to move my cab and plus my flying cab as far back as I can, try to get behind him if I can. Like by repositioning, I'm going to theoretically tear a hole into his line somewhere. See, he actually has two hero type units. One is an Empire Captain, the other is it's a Lord on a flying monster, just like my Lord. So I kept an eye on them. So yeah, he has that siege artillery right there, and it's starting to fire now. So with all Total War artillery, you got to keep moving to try to avoid it. It's kind of a hassle, but just keep moving. Kind of like a shooter game, you just want to keep moving. Don't give your opponent a fixed target. So now I'm gonna rush my cav into that little pocket behind his defense right there, and in doing so, that will make him break his formation. So now I see his two heroes coming out to play. Let's see that. So in response, I'm gonna get my main lord, get him over to that side. I know because my lord's flying, I can get him to the other side rather quickly. So I see his heroes coming out. I think that's a huge mistake, letting his heroes come out without any support whatsoever. So I'm gonna pull my cav back. He was gunning for my cav, but now I'm gonna throw in my monsters, quote unquote, my Pegasus. I'm gonna try to attack his heroes. And I'm going to rush in my other Pegasus so I can envelop his heroes. Surrounded by 4 Pegasus plus my 2 hero commanders, hero units. My other hero is on foot, so he's going to take a while to get over there. But you can see the health on his heroes are getting really depleted. See that? See the red meter there? It's getting really low. And I got my main lord coming out to envelop. See this? It's gonna be beautiful. But my guys over on this are getting shot at by his artillery and also his crossbows. But I do have my cav on that ridge overlooking his defensive position right there. So that's a psychological edge, I think. And the fact is, I'm about to take out his commanders here. Do you see that? His 2 commanders are surrounded by all my Pegasus now, and both of my heroes. And you can see one of my Pegasus units is floating that way. I think he cast a spell or something. I'm not sure what the deal was, but they completely left the fight. And I did sneak in my I tried to sneak in my cav, try to take out his artillery or even his Empire machine gun. I forgot what it's called already. I think it's like I forgot the name of it. But I wanted to sneak behind him and try to destroy it. Now I'm going to pull back my infantry here because I didn't like getting shot at and not having an answer to it. So I'm going to keep up the pressure behind him. And I'm going to dive bomb with my Pegasus here. So yeah, he has those 3 mortar teams plus that machine gun piece. I forgot what it's called already. So So I'm going to send in my guys behind him again. I see that as a big opening that I can exploit. That area right there above him, I can totally exploit that. And the fact is I got my Pegasus right in his lines there, distracting his archers and all that good stuff, so I can now advance my right side infantry, which I haven't done yet. There's so much you see in your own replays that you didn't see while you're playing, because when you're actually playing a battle, it's hard to see everything. It's just a different mindset, so it's always easier to see your mistakes when you're watching it from the outside perspective. So one of his commanders is coming back, you see? But his health is down to like 60%, it looks like. So he's about to break. And I'm going to send in my other 2 cav units to this side over here. I want to get them back on top of that ridge, overlooking his position. So do you see that? That's a sweet spot to attack. And get my knights over here, get a charge in behind him. So I'm gonna peel some away, not to attack from the front. You see my infantry, that is. So now I'm gonna start the fight. This is gonna be the actual fight now, where I crash into his defensive lines. Not just dealing with his first response teams like his heroes, but this is the actual fight. Like, this is where you commit to it. And yeah, here I'm watching the you know, the health meters, the balance bar, all that good stuff, just to gauge the success or failure of my attack. So now I'm starting to curve in my infantry from the other side, so I can attack him from the flank. Now I got this basic lord coming in, this Empire, or sorry, this Bretonnia captain. So he had to move his mortars a little bit, as you can see. I think he might have been targeting my infantry, that's why they moved, or I think that was it, so I pulled back a little bit. Yep, that's exactly what happened. That's not a mortar, by the way, that's that freaking machine gun that I keep forgetting the name of. So I definitely want to get a unit into his crossbows right there. Do you see him? There's a big clod of crossbows near the bottom of his position there. I want to kill them, but they're just all clustered right there. It's pretty sweet. But now I'm finally gauging from the front now. Now they got most of the pressure on his backside. I feel that his front has been weakened quite a bit from him reinforcing his rear side. I'm going to send my cav here to get a charge in. And there I was checking to make sure I had all my units engaged or doing something. And my main captain, my main lord, just landed onto the heads of those guys right there. And you can see his one remaining captain right there is very low in health. That's his Empire captain, a melee specialist. I'm going to make sure I target it with my Pegasus Knight there. I want to make sure he dies. Rob him of any kind of morale that he might have. Anything's good, I think. So you can see his flag on his basic captain is starting to waver. And there's some breaking units on his side. And my commander is starting to break in, and this we start to see a lot of his flags routing, and at this point I knew that I had this battle where I wanted it to be. I mean, sure, fortune can change, but here it looks like I have him where I want him. And I was so happy because when I saw his defensive puzzle, I wasn't sure if I could solve it or not. But I'm not one to shy away from it. I will attack unfavorable situations. If they're unwilling to attack or get off their terrain, then I have to do it. I have to be the problem solver. I'm okay with that sometimes, though. Actually, most of the time, because even if my attack fails, it still makes for an awesome replay. I think, you know, the fact that you tried to attack it. But yeah, all those units are starting to break. So this is what you call like a chain route. They're all starting to break. They're all influence each other. It's mass panic. So I say GG to my opponent, to TWS. With his will. So it was cool to play on this battlefield again, but yeah, I did fight on this battlefield in a quest battle. I forgot which one it was. I'm pretty sure it's the one. I'm pretty sure it was an Empire battle, a Karl Franz battle where you take on Northmen. So don't quote me on that though. But I really did enjoy this battle. You know, it was attack versus defense. Gonna save that right there. So look at the damage, as you can see. And a lot of my cav acquitted themselves quite well. Anyways, good game to my opponent. Very good game to him. And I hope you enjoyed this battle with our Bretonnia. And I hope you're enjoying today's launch day for Total War Warhammer. So, just looking at the stats there. And it should be ending soon, sorry. End it now? End it now? Oh, Hellblaster, that's what that gun's called, that machine gun. So he's gone. I'm gone too.